This podcast dives into some real talk that might be triggering to some listeners. Viewer discretion is advised.
Sure, Dintang. It's your girl, Man's Not Hot, aka Cheapy Yappy Dor. Get a welcome again to another hot episode of Clock It, the Down South edition, brought to you by Staying Alive Foundation.
Coming up, growing up dark-skinned,
Yeah.
growing up plus size, it's an experience of its own.
You know, there's a lot of things that these kids go through, and it's challenging, you know.
Healing, yes, we aim for it, but it's a daily thing. It's a choice that you're making. It just doesn't end.
So if you don't have difficult conversations with yourself, when you go out, there are those difficult conversations that will come to you.
We have to identify that words are extremely harmful.
So there's always where it starts. There's always a root to these problems. But you may find that the perpetrator, it's actually the victim.
The standard is you, and it's always you.
The Down South mic is once again roaming the streets for answers.
I don't switch my social media off.
Yeah, I do believe our society pressures people into positions they don't want to be.
And when I say we aren't playing games in the Down South facts, I mean we actually are.
Why don't you put out the lights, boy? Why don't you turn the lights out? And that's why they call it down south, boy. That's why they call it down south. Why don't you put out the lights, boy? Why don't you turn
Guys,
the
it's going to be an exciting episode. I want you guys to please join in on the conversation on social media by using our hashtag ClockItPodcast, and remember to always clock it.
Joining us today is cast member Ziya, otherwise known as the lovable Warona, Chomiyabana. Hot on her heels is activist Noskhumbuzo Phangwa.
Ladies, welcome to Clock It. Yes, I love that. I love that. Ziya, how are you feeling? How are you doing? So good to see you.
So good to see you. I'm so excited to be here. Anytime I get called for Warona, I will answer the phone call.
Definitely.
There's literally no other character I get stopped for more than Warona. So I had to be here to clock it, guys.
I mean, she's definitely a fave. I love her. Down, girl. Noskhumbuzo, how are you feeling?
Yeah, she's so fired up to be here.
Yes. I love
It's
that.
actually good to be here.
I love that. I want you to talk to me about why you're here with us today. Who is Noskhumbuzo and what does she do?
Noskhumbuzo, it's a Kasi girl from Elokshini who felt the need to look into social illnesses around areas that are not touched.
Yes.
You know, so I'm a director, co-founder at Mangaliso Mava Community Center, centered at Soweto. We deal with all these issues that are not spoken about around youth. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's me.
Okay, I love that. I love that. So as you know, today we're going to be speaking about Warona's journey. So let's take a look at her character journey.
My name is Ziya, and I play Warona on MTV Shuga, Down South Season 3.
I'm low-key glad that I got some stuff off my chest.
Well, now I'm high-key proud of you, my child.
Please don't ever say that again.
I think Warona is a good representation of the unseen youth. She is a gem waiting to be unraveled.
So I hate to break it to you, but you are still stuck with this girl.
I think she is showing you that there's youth out there that are not sure that the risk is worth taking, but she's proving what happens when you do. She deals with high school bullying. She deals with homophobia. She deals with fat-phobia. I think what's next for Warona, she's going to start giving herself a chance to introduce herself to people and not need a crutch as a best friend to speak for her all the time. I think Warona's going to find her voice.
Yeah, like I said, I love Warona down. But I need to hear from you, Ziya. Have you ever felt unseen as much as she does? Like, do you relate to her in any way?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first of all, growing up dark-skinned, growing up plus size, it's an experience of its own.
Girl,
we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But 100%, I know exactly how Warona felt. So stepping into that character, for me, had to be a moment I took very slowly, doing the research, making sure that I'm able to take care of myself while still communicating the character's journey well. And more than anything, this is where Noskhumbuzo comes in, for example, you know, people who know how to handle these kind of social ills like bullying. And I know it, and it was a great release playing her, being able to open up and speak and say the things that I was too scared to years ago.
Yeah, no, it was great seeing her, you know, represent us. And I say us because I can relate to that girl, okay? Now, Noskhumbuzo, you've seen Uti Warona goes through bullying because of who she is, right? Her image and who she identifies as. What do you think that is? What happens for that to happen, for the bullying to happen?
Well, I think it starts from the foundation phase, from home. You know, a lot of, especially in the Black society, where we see a lot of big girls that are not given the cherry on top to glaze them, give them, you beautiful, you look amazing. We always try and give them, you would be better off if you look like Beyonce, you know, and that starts there. So if they're not given that from foundation phase, then we will have a lot of Yaronas out there. And believe you me, we do have a lot of those. This is why you find girls from high school, from grade 7 going for grade 8, they do e-scooter even till today because they're trying to build up confidence. So scooter would be, I'm using their language because it's what they use. And you get that, scooter? So a scooter is when you adjust your dress and tuck in your uniform, not to, you know, us, we have the belly.
The fupa.
Okay.
Yes, so they would cover that somehow for them not to look the way they look. Do you know what I mean? So we do have a lot of Yaronas out there, and it starts from the foundation. And it will grow like that. If a child is taking self-confidence, I mean, going out in the society, it's very difficult for them to build it back.
Yeah.
You know, it's like pouring a plant that is destroyed from an alley. It's not going to grow well. You know, it's going to be a plant that is demoralized one day by one, you know. Look, if you look into the brief that we've just watched, at some point it's very difficult for herself to motivate herself back into the society. For that moment, she feels she's what they've told her like she is, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
I can definitely relate, like, as I've been saying, Uti, I feel like if from being a child, I was embraced and I was taught to embrace myself, you know, just how I am. And it doesn't just happen at home, it happens at school. And you get to see the other, according to you, prettier girls being put on pedestals, you know, being given the attention. And you ask yourself, what is wrong with me? It's a very tricky one, that one.
I think if we would identify pretty as me, would be perfect, because now there's a way on how pretty is been defined by different types of people. But then if it was identified as you, then you wouldn't see the pretty girl. You would start seeing yourself as pretty. So it starts there, like I said, foundation. So if all the parents would start by accepting what God has given them and identify it as pretty, then we'll have all the pretty ones. And then we'll try not to have the Waronas out there.
Do you agree, Ziya?
Yeah, 100%. You know, I think what Noskhumbuzo is speaking about speaks into colorism and beauty standards. You know, what have we set the benchmark as? Like, what is pretty? You know, and when we start to deconstruct from that place, we're able to see the kind of influences that have gotten into the conversation and realize that that was never the standard to begin with. And the standard is you, and it's always you, with your fupa.
Period.
Okay?
Clock that.
Clock that.
True.
When faced with a popular girl and resident bully, this is what Warona has to go through. Let's check it out.
Guys, are being serious. Warona, spitty boom boom and a bomba. She's gonna be huffing and puffing before it's over.
I don't want to be the fat girl on the team who's always the butt of her jokes.
No, that was heavy. And we've spoken about how much we relate and how much we actually see Warona. Noskhumbuzo, I want to hear from you. How do we actually go about healing when these things happen to us?
So, I'm not sure if I'll be off track, but let's look at the character that is bullying Warona, the body shape, if we have to go there.
Sure.
She's got a bit of more. You know what I mean? And that would be classified as sexy in our society.
Yeah.
You know? But if we were to put Warona and her there, you may find even weight-wise, Warona is a bit more tinier than her. You know? And with healing, it becomes painful to see someone in a similar structure labeling you.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
You get faced with that a lot. Sometimes when we go to these schools, because we normally go to high schools and interact with these kids, you would find kids saying, if it was a bit of tiny lady, it could have came easier. But because she's in the same space that I look at her similar to what I am and listen to what I say. You know, and another thing is with healing, it goes way deeper. I mean, you could be healed in a school environment, and if you look into that episode, they go to a community center whatsoever.
Yeah.
So if they go there and they heal Warona, but are we allowing Warona to go back in the same home where there's still that shaming? So healing goes way back to home. You know, what is Yarona's father saying about Yarona's body to make Yarona feel okay about it? So that when Yarona goes to see that girl that is making Yarona to feel somehow, somewhat, then it builds confidence. I don't know if I'm making sense.
I hear you. I hear you. You talking.
So in healing, it goes way deeper than me talking to you as a friend, because you can heal me from a space that I'm in, but I still have to go back where my demons are at.
You know, when it comes to the healing conversation, there's a saying that we know from social media, healing is not linear.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, definitely.
So there are parts of you that will interpret getting over it as healing. And then maybe the next time you're faced with that situation again or those comments again, you find that it comes back up again. I think it's very important when you've dealt with body shaming, when you've dealt with bullying, to give yourself a sense of patience that can restart at any time that you need it to. The healing doesn't end. There's no goal, there's no getting there. To be so real, I don't think there's ever a time where you can be like, no, I am like totally good, I'm over it. No, where you get to is a point of acceptance that leads you into self-love, that leads self-love into expression. But if somebody right about now were to say something, trust and believe, you know Ziya is going to probably just laugh it off, move away.
Yeah.
But when she sits alone, she needs to sit with 10-year-old Ziya again. And listen to her again, and then come back. Once again, self-love, self-expression, self-acceptance all over again. So healing, yes, we aim for it, but it's a daily thing. It's a choice that you're making. It just doesn't end. That's why these kind of conversations are so important to have, because you can never find one answer on the how-to when it comes to this. It needs to be regenerated. The conversation needs to be had again. We can't have MTV Shuga and we watch it and it's a series and it's over. We need to sit down and have a podcast again, over and over again. We need the cycles to be simultaneous and align and grow with our audience, with the actors, with the community.
And I agree with that. More conversations should be had. I mean, we should speak about it some more for it to be actually out there. Noskhumbuzo, do you feel like enough conversations are actually being had surrounding this?
No, I don't. I feel like there's still more to be done, especially what you just mentioned, to say it comes back. That means we're dealing with Waronas that are having triggers. So when you're going through the healing process and you've got triggers, you're not healed, because someone could be passing a comment and it triggers you. You know, there are still a lot of intervention that I personally feel that needs to be done. I mean, I think the educational system has brought in life orientation, but it's done on the surface.
Right.
Okay.
You know, it's not done where you should go deeper and deal with the raw things that are happening with individuals.
Yes.
You know, and obviously it differs from school to school. You know, other schools are equipped to have your psychiatrist, your therapist, and but other schools are not equipped. But with me, I feel like it's not, the conversations are just on the surface. We have not really went down there and try and touch to those that are like Warona.
And that's a very funny thing, because you think with the tools that we have, like social media, and I would imagine that centers like Khanyisa Center exist in real life to actually help people, but it's still a conversation that is not it's a very touchy subject. I'm not gonna lie.
Just to add on what you're saying, remember the Khanyisa Center, the lady, young lady that is also bullying Warona. It's also a member of that center.
Yes.
So this bullying thing, it happens everywhere. At home, at the center, at the most place that you'd be thinking it's a safe space.
It's a safe space.
It gets to happen, especially when that individual is still going through some triggers.
Yep.
They could be triggered by going to the loo, seeing someone big size.
Yeah.
And then when they have to sit there and they be like, ooh, what if I break it? It's a trigger. You know, there's a lot of things that these kids go through and it's challenging. You know, I can make an example of one girl that came to our center and we were having a Mandela Day and we had clothes. And other kids came in and picked up clothes because of her feeling like, ooh, I'm big size, so I won't find anything, you know? And one of the kids that at the center where we claim it's a safe space said, you won't get anything. So, you know, it's something that needs to have further intervention in, I don't know, measure way, not taking it lightly, because I mean, being body shamed, it could be one of the things that kills you to even further your studies, to even go out there, to even do what you feel it's good for you, you know. So it needs more, more and more and more and more. I mean, such programs I think would help. And I just wanted to add something. I heard you mentioning we are equipped. Yes, we are equipped, but how are we using our equipment? You know, yes, we are equipped. Yes, most definitely we are. I mean, these kids have Wi-Fi access, these kids have cell phones, but what are they taught to utilize this for? You know, that's where it starts. Why do you buy your baby girl a phone? To do what with it? To go on TikTok and do what on TikTok? You know, because these social media platforms are giving us an opportunity to learn such things. But I have a choice to also look into bullying ways of making my bullying stronger than making it reduce. So, yeah, we need more intervention.
Yeah, no, that's profound. Let's hear what the streets have to say.
So, with having constant social media, like always being on social media, it does sometimes not benefit my mental health because I'll constantly focus on what other people are doing and other people's successes, and it will lead to me procrastinating.
Likes and retweets from social media, I feel like they ruin your ego or your confidence then boosting it, because you're just looking for instant gratification instead of actually wanting what you want.
I don't switch my social media off. Reason being, it motivates me to keep on going, Rabo. So sometimes I'll be in like a very, very dark situation and I need motivation to like keep going. So I don't switch it off.
Okay, that was okay. But I think I hear her.
Okay.
I think she's saying, Uti, the content that I consume on social media is good for me. So that's why I don't switch it off. Because, yeah, people come across bad things on social media and it's just like, I think so, yay.
No, I hear you. Ne? I agree, actually. That's a nice way to look at it. At the end of the day, I think what she's trying to say is she's taking responsibility for what she's consuming.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Because the other gent was like, you know, instant gratification, it's gonna hit your ego. But we play a part as well on what we click, follow, on what we... Because we're also consumers and we're on the other side of somebody else's screen.
Yep. That's true. Noskhumbuzo, what do you have to say?
With social media, for me, no. We need honest education on it. You know, she can say that it's good for her. What is she doing for her to feel it's good? I mean, listen to the guy who says it's not good at all. It's because of what also he is doing for him to feel like it's not good. So with social media, for me, it's a bit imbalanced for now, especially with having such issues. You know, because like I said, equipment we have. I mean, do we know how to use our tools?
Yeah.
You know, the tooling, the processes, the implementation process of it. Do we know how to use it? You know, do you know when to share? What is it are we receiving? If I'm not well equipped and self-confident and I see a bullying video there, that means the entire moment I'll be inserting it's okay for me to be not to look good. And then it's for that moment, and I don't have even anyone at that moment to share that information. So for that particular moment, social media is destroying me. Same applies to if I could see Warona being motivating and I start getting uplifted by that time. For that particular moment, I'm coming out of my space and I'm getting something good. So it's a way about on how you utilize it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying it's
it's a coping mechanism for most. Ne? And sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's unhealthy, I guess. What do you think are healthy coping mechanisms that people who struggle with mental health issues because of this are?
People differ a person to a person. There is no system to human behavior. There is no methodology that we can then say, when we start from A to B, this is how it's going to be your outcome. You know what I mean? So it differs from individual to individual. Just the other day, I was having a conversation with someone, and I said, there's 21 questions that we've created at our center that we use for young girls and boys to go through that as individuals. It triggers them. I always say it's not safe for them to go through them alone because it's questions that we never want to have with yourself. So if you don't have difficult conversations with yourself, when you go out, there are those difficult conversations that will come to you, if you know what I mean. So they go through the questions, and sometimes we've got those that come out best. And they deal with triggers. They deal with them. You come and say, "Dula." It's like, "Ooh, it's sihle kanje akazusibona." And we have those that you say is "Dula," they still break down and cry. So the coping mechanism differs from individual to individual. And remember, there's outspoken people, there's people that share around, there's people that don't want to talk about their issues. They can only say, they can nod and just agree, but you don't know exactly how they're feeling inside. So the coping mechanism differs from one person to another. The only thing I could say is self-identification and building up. And the first thing is identifying that I am being bullied or I am being body shamed. That is the first step to cope with whatever situation you're faced with. As a young girl or young boy out there, if you start seeing something that you dislike, you must ask yourself that what is it that I would like? Or why don't I like my bump?
Yes.
Could you have been better without a bump? Because that comes a long way. It comes a long way. So they differ from one person to another.
Yazi ngizweni kakhulu esihle kanje akazusibone. I'm taking that line. I am taking that line. And do you feel like Ziya Warona ama coping mechanism wakhe are healthy?
Warona. Hey, the things you're making me say now. I think initially no.
Okay.
I think one of the coping mechanisms that she had, I would say, was her friend, if I could put it that way. She really had Kenzo as a crutch. She really depended on Kenzo to speak up for her, so much so that she took the position. You can even tell in her body language. She even steps back because she kind of knows and cue Kenzo to come in and go in front of her. And I think as she grows and journeys through, she starts to discover healthy coping mechanisms through therapy. And I learned so much from Warona myself, even around coping mechanisms. And I discovered the gym. Yes.
Okay,
yes. I discovered the gym. And now everyone asked me, what's the point? Girl, you're still cute and chubby. And I'm like, the intention was never that you're supposed to see me in 9 months and there'll be a difference. If I want to do that, I can do that. You know what I'm saying?
Clock it.
So coping mechanisms, yes, they differ from person to person 100%. With Warona, she journeyed through it, and at the end got to a point where she communicates better, where she can stand up better for herself, where she can look herself in the mirror and actually smile. She has a little dance party that happens, you know what I mean? So I definitely think that as she journeyed through and went through everything, not escaping, but going through it, she got to healthy coping mechanisms.
Yeah, I love that. I also discovered the gym, girl. And it's not about it's body positivity. It's not saying now I'm not body positive anymore. Body positivity is loving and accepting yourself through the different shapes, the different forms, understanding your body, and you must always feel your healthiest. So if you feel healthy now, that's great. It's awesome. And if you feel like, no, if I lose 10 more kgs, I'm going to be healthier, then do that. That is body positivity, okay? Some people are just born haters. And yes, I'm talking about Vuvu. Speaking of that, let's check it out.
Oh, I get it. You lesbians stick together. No, that's nice.
I'm not a lesbian. I don't even like boys. It was a stupid lie, I know. I was just really scared. But today, the counselor told me that most things you want are always on the other side of fear.
Yo, yeah, one thing about Uvuvu, she knows how to get my high blood up. And I really don't like bullies, guys. They're very triggering. As a girl who grew up being bullied in school for most, if not all of my school life, it was horrible, and I understand where Warona's coming from. But I want us to unpack what we just saw, Noskhumbuzo. Like, what do you think?
I always feel like there's two sides of the story. Yes, we're focusing on Warona, but Vuvu has a problem, a major problem, right? We could be looking at what she's doing to Warona. Maybe Warona is a trigger to Vuvu, if we look at it in another way. Why is she so confidently coming on her all the time about her sexuality? Like it never ends with Vuvu. There is something about her.
Yeah.
And then I'll take you back. It goes back home. A lot of parents allow their kids to parent themselves because of their background as well.
Okay.
You know, you may find certain things like morals and standards in the lately, or I'd say in the now generation, they're not implemented, you know? They're not expressed, you know? I'll refer to the job that we're doing every day, where you go to school, you find a child saying, I don't have love language with my mother or my parents, you know? We don't touch, we don't talk, we don't say good morning, we don't say good night. We wake up, make bread, and, you know, and if you're frustrated, the next best person that you're going to take the frustration of, it's a girl like Warona. A girl that is staying home with their father, who is lacking a bit of confidence. And when because you are bullied from home, you have to take out that energy. There's no way that it could stay in you. You know, so you may find with Vuvu, there is something with her behaving that way. So there's always where it starts. There's always a root to these problems.
There is.
You know, people that are being victimized, the perpetrators, when you go in and you go deeper, you find that there is a lot of things. There's no way that Vuvu could be able to attack one person in a lot of stream. Body shaming, labeling, identifying sexuality. I think there's a part where she's even making Warona to not even know what she is, you know, she doesn't know what in which line of space that she belonged to, you know, and that just shows you how negatively strong, whatever that she's a sickness or whatever that's got her, it's been put onto every day.
Yes.
You know?
Guys, it's very tough.
So it's deeper to that extent where we're looking at the reporter, but you may find that the perpetrator, it's actually the victim in the situation. You know what I mean?
But you'd expect her to be, I don't know, better because she goes to Ikanyisa Center. You know, are they not doing enough?
Assessment. Assessing kids when they come there. We're not equipped as centers to have that kind of muscular to go through each and every child.
Okay.
You know, you may find in one center there's 325 kids. And at a day you get 60 kids and there's only 3 people attending to those kids. So there's various types of situations. I mean, if you look at they are in a group, I think they're playing drums. How many are they? And there's one coach.
Okay.
Right, I'm correct.
Okay.
There's one coach, and coach will attend to what Warona says. But will coach have time to also go to Vuvu and say, Vuvu mara, why uganji? Why are you doing this to other kids?
And he tried, and Vuvu was like,
Because now Vuvu, so let's take an example of a child that's been beaten at the street, and they say to this child, go and fight back. You are coming here crying, go and fight back. You know, what are you building to that child?
Yeah.
You know, from watching the scene, I think one big takeaway I went home with was seeing how bullying actually takes away someone else's voice. And it's in that moment where we have to identify that words are extremely harmful. There's absolutely no capacity. Yes, it's important for us to consider each other. Where does this person's background come from and who's projecting? But there's no reality where it can be okay to out someone's sexuality. There's no reality where it can be a standard or it can be understood to silence another person. And this is exactly what bullying does. This is where we see Warona, even it's such a double entendre, I guess, or an oxymoron, where we're seeing her speaking for the first time here. This is where she finally steps out to defend herself. After we've seen her allowing Kenzo, this is where she finally steps out and says, I'm not a lesbian.
Yes.
And it's that moment of defense where she's trying to fight being silenced. It's that moment of the penny dropping that I've been quiet for too long. This has taken from me. I'm going to speak up right now, you know? So this is a really powerful and a pivotal moment in the character's journey that I... 10 out of 10, Ziya.
Love it. Love that.
I wanted to add something on that when you talk about the voice.
Yeah.
I always make this when I go to schools about how parents would say, why did you break a cup? And the child says, I'm sorry. So you are sorry because, you know, and I always advise parents in our sessions not to use the why. So those words that are projected into this child develops to make the child silent.
Oh.
Because why will I then say, because you already know that I've done it? You know, and maybe it's not even me, or maybe it's a mistake.
Yes.
But as a parent, you're not allowing me to come and report it. You already know, you know, I'm talking to you, pa. You know those parents? Yeah, and when you answer, they're like, you are talking back.
Yeah,
you know that. Yeah, so that, so that creates a moment. So even at the streets, when you're being attacked, you're going to defend yourself. You're not going to answer back. You know, do you understand what I mean? You should be, Warona could have said something better about her sexuality there, but she felt to defend herself because the defense comes from the root.
Foundation.
Wow, I've never thought of it that way. It takes away your voice.
It does.
It takes away your voice.
It's you. When I'm talking to you, why did you break the cup? And then when child tries to answer back, they're like, I'm talking, you are talking. And the child gets confused. I mean, that's a little brain there. Yeah, that's a little brain confused to say, so what should I do now? And they get confused. You are dumb.
Yo, you know, the name calling.
That's where the name calling. Yeah, you are. You are like Ban. This is why you're not gonna grow older. So you see where it starts.
Name calling is bad. You know what? I've normalized in my friendships or the circles that I'm around. No matter how angry we are at each other, let us not name call. If you've made me feel a certain way because of what you did, let's talk about that. Yes, let's talk about that. You know, I didn't like it when this happened. Also, the use of you is very like, because I get defensive. You say, you did this, you did that. I get defensive and I want to like protect myself in that moment because you're coming for me. But, you know, when this happened, I felt this way and so on and so forth without saying, you're so inconsiderate. Oh, okay. Now you're coming for me. Now I'm not hearing what you're trying to communicate anymore. I'm just hearing the jabs that you're throwing at me. So yes, that is a very important conversation.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The conversations are coming in hot, and I want to hear what you have to say on the Down South mic.
Yeah, I do believe our society pressures people into positions they don't want to be, you know? So in the era that we're in now, it's based on influence and basically doing what the next man is doing, you know? I feel like finding yourself and finding who you are in the world, it kind of puts you in a position where you can say no to things. Big on saying no, you know? So, yeah.
Young people can get help regarding mental health issues from various places, like friends and family, your nearest counselor if you're at school or you're a student, and yeah, even church.
Big on church.
Yep. Same. I don't want to know from you, Ziya, do any of these things relate to you? Do you hear them a little bit?
For sure. As in like big on church? Is that-
No. The opinions.
Your opinions. Okay,
Yes,
run it
yes,
back.
yes.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. I do think that it's important for us to frame our experiences for ourselves. I love the Down South mic because we're getting to see, self-expression. And if I am going through something, I'm going to take it in this way. I think it's a great way of reinforcing taking responsibility for what you're consuming, what you're putting out, how you are going through life. Even with bullying, even with trauma, there's a level of responsibility that you gotta just put on your big girl panties.
Because you gotta.
Because you gotta. Can nobody else can do it for you, So, yeah, for sure.
Okay, I hear you. Noskhumbuzo, do you have anything to say?
I always have something to say.
I love that about you. That's what I love about you.
With hearing young people responding like this, I want to go back to what you said before we wash that. There's different types of techniques.
Okay.
Like what you said, you sit and talk. If I'm not taught that technique, then it becomes a problem. Like one of the young people, they said, there is different spaces where you can reach out. If I'm not taught that, how do I go about it? And the spiritual part comes in within. Others would be told, go and pray, speak to God. And that could also help. But it takes, there's this teach one, each one saying, I don't know if you've heard of it, where some of the things we take it from learned behavior.
Oh, okay.
It becomes a learned behavior. For me to just go about and do it, it becomes very difficult. I can't just do it, but I need to learn it. This is why it's important to look into your circle. Your circle says a lot about who you are. Okay. So with the young ones, it is important also to look into what is their go about, especially in such situations. And also, just to mention, it's not only Bo Bumba Fela that are being thrown here.
Yep. That's a conversation. That's a conversation.
I do have people that I've worked with previously, I don't know what's the term to call them, who would have a challenge in wearing dresses, showing their body, because then they would be said, giddy biltong, name calling, there's words that they use,
Very painful.
And you find that, and you must check besties, hangata, and a lot of times, a fat girl becomes friends with a thin one, because there's nothing to compare there. And those relationships last forever. If you've noticed.
No, I'm laughing because that's true. I'm laughing because I'm thinking of my best friend, and I'm like, oh,
is she big? No, she's opposite.
All the time. Because now that other one takes from that other one and makes a build up. But me and you, Z, we can never be in the same space because we're always in competition.
Wait a minute now.
Let's unpack that. Let's talk about
Instead of being encouraged on what she said about going to gym, I'd feel like I don't want to change my body for anything. You are right like that. I'm right, needs to do this right. But I don't understand where is that coming from. Do you understand what I mean? Why is Warona not having a chubby friend?
A girl.
She's bullying her.
No, because Warona is not equipped enough. She doesn't have techniques enough to go and encourage someone like her to be on the same team. And they fight it off. It's always on the other side. So if that one cries and says, oh, I get it would be and I wish I had a flat stomach. Oh my goodness, Nami, I wish I had big buttocks. So it's always around wishes. So there's never balance in a way that me and you would be like, Siyabange and a friend. As chubby as we are, let's take them on. Do you know what I mean?
I'm reflecting about my life.
I think it's subconscious. Maybe, yeah. Although I can't say I have that experience. I can't say, like, I have an experience where I felt like I can't be friends, or I felt uncomfortable being friends with another thick person or another big person. No, for real. Like, I can't say, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's subconscious.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I'd see any competition. If anything, maybe I'm on the other side. Maybe I'm the one who thinks, let's go do it. And the other one is saying, what you're saying. Mina, I would hey, any fat friends around? Give me
I got you. I'm right here, girl.
Oh, girl.
But that is actually a good throw in there for young people.
Okay.
To say if we've looked into it. I mean, we go to these schools, we see these kids. You look, even adults. You know, Auntie Banban will bring a best friend, and the best friend is a bit slimmer than her.
Hey.
And you ask yourself, this is an Asian thing. But there's never a moment where we get that technique of saying, so you're going to gym. Personally, I've got a very chubby, nice friend recently. Like, my friend is... Because it's something I've learned personally to say, I cannot always be running on an opposite direction. Then that means I'm not learning and I'm not healing. Then I will always have triggers. So that's where the triggers come from. If I see a belly fat, it gives me confidence. But if I don't see it, then I'll push harder for gym. Do you understand what I mean? So it comes with balance, you know. And we learn from one another. So if we could encourage young people to be confident enough to be okay with how they look and accept others as they like similarities. And we can create that balance that we're looking for.
Now I'm learning from you.
Amen.
Noskhumbuzo, you're definitely dropping some gems today. I've learned so much from you. Hi, thank you so much. I needed that. Hey, we've had conversations here today. Very important conversations. And now it's time to play some games. So the game we're playing today is called Rapid Fire Confessions. So let me explain the game mechanics to you guys so you know how to play with us today, okay? I'm going to give you 10 scenarios. Rapidly, very quickly, you must tell me, is it either good or is it bad, by raising your bets for me, you know? So green for good, red for bad. Are you okay with that? Yeah. And remember, I always want you guys to engage with us. So use the hashtag #ClockItPodcast, #good, or #bad. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go. Scenario A. Shrinking yourself to fit in after being body shamed is true, always. Scenario B. Snapping back at bullies with words instead of fists.
Yo, wait a minute. One more time, roll it back.
Okay. Scenario B, snapping back at bullies with words instead of fists. Noskhumbuzo, what does that mean? Are you in or are you out?
I mean, either one of those are not good at all.
Okay.
You know, fisting back and answering back. If you answer back, you could answer as the same bully. So you're planting the same seed to the next person. So for me, fisting back and answering.
Okay, it's
you know.
Okay,
Yeah.
I hear you. All right. Scenario C, hiding your queerness to avoid judgment. I got you there.
This game about to have me on the ground.
Scenario D, stepping onto the dance floor to reclaim your power.
All I heard was dance floor.
Yeah, and I'm in. Scenario E, walking away from toxic friends who don't clap for you. Yep, always. All right, scenario F, leaning on real friendships that lift you up.
What's up?
I mean, community is so important.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about friendship is that you create that community. It's the family that you create for yourself, right? Right. Love that. Scenario G, choosing confidence over shame when the spotlight finds you. Always. And we were speaking about that the whole time.
Yeah.
We need to find our confidence. It doesn't matter the size you are. It doesn't matter who you are.
Right.
You just need to clap it. Thank you. Okay. Scenario H, turning pain from bullying into fire on stage.
Absolutely.
Okay. Noskhumbuzo.
Ma'am.
What do you feel?
Okay. Have you dealt with it when you go on stage, or you just hiding being on stage from what you're dealing with?
I would say when you're taking that fire that you're going through, taking that trauma, whatever emotion you're going through, you're finding a healthy coping mechanism. It's even dancing. It's similar to the gym. You're taking what you're feeling and finding a healthy way to release and express it.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So what happens when you're at the gym and then someone describes your back as, and when you are in the fire moment, I get it, you haven't dealt with it. And now you are trying to cope with it and putting the fire on it. And then someone comes in and says, they ask, whose back is this? Like, let's just do that.
Hey.
I would like
manje usejimini uzamukopa and manje
being on stage. Warona is on stage trying to do her best, and then Vuhu walks up and be like, yo, what happens to Warona now?
Yo,
it's a question.
Now it's awkward. Now it's very awkward.
Now Warona starts crying. We are back at square one. So my answer is still.
I think it's always in conjunction with therapy, with next steps, with counseling, with Noskhumbuzo. Okay? And then go and dance and have a good time and express yourself. So fine, we can do this. We can do your...
Okay. Yeah. I guess it's a new one. It's a new one. Noskhumbuzo brought it here. All right. Scenario I, loving your body loud no matter what anyone says. I love that one is clear.
Thank you. 100%.
And the last one, scenario J, standing proud in your identity, no apologies.
For sure.
This is what we advocate for. This is why we are here.
That's right.
This is why we are here.
That's right.
Yeah, and that is the end of the game.
What?
Hey, so the game is over. That means the episode is over. That means we gotta go, okay? Thank you so much, Noskhumbuzo and Ziya, for coming and chatting with us today. I feel like I have new besties.
Right?
Yeah, I feel like I have new besties. Like, yeah. Share your numbers. Let's speak. Let's speak. Thank you so much for staying with us today. Remember to join in on the conversation on social media using the hashtag #ClockItPodcast. This is Man's Not Hot, aka Chipi Yapi Tori, clocking out.
The Clock It podcast is guided by health experts to keep the convo safe and empowering. For more on HIV, PrEP, GBV, and mental health support, follow the link below.